Hi, I'm Rebecca Anderson, and I'm here to give you the hottest teen news of the week. This is Teen Talk. Our first story takes place around San Antonio, Texas. The Fremont School District in South Texas has gotten a rating of unacceptable twice in the last 3 years. The plan is to cancel all student sports in order to help the kids improve on their academics. The ban will start after the end of the current basketball season, which means no baseball, no tennis or track this spring, and no football or volleyball in the fall. The superintendent says it could save the school district about $100,000, and that money would be used to help boost academics by paying for new science labs or increasing teachers' salaries. We interviewed teen Becca Anderson, and she said,
I think that this may be a bad thing, because though it may help kids to raise their scores on academics because they will not have any distractions, it may also cause them to get involved in bad activities because they won't have any school-sponsored activities to invest their time in. Also, I think that they could make this situation so that everybody wins. They could make the lowest grade to participate higher. For example, they could make the lowest grade you can get a B- rather than a C, in order to make the students work harder so they can play the sports they want to.
Now for your joke of the week. Our second story has to do with concussions. A concussion is a type of brain injury when some people feel some altered sensation and altered vision. They may feel their hearing is in a tin box, or may get numb, and they may get confused. It can be anything as vague as that, but people definitely know when they have it. Concussions are often caused by a shock to the head, so it is common to see them in contact sports like football. But what are those collisions doing to the brain inside those helmets? Kevin Guskiewicz, a researcher from the University of North Carolina, says he can actually measure the intensity of those hits. Guskiewicz recently won a MacArthur Genius Grant for his work on concussions in football. The question becomes, how many of those big impacts and the self-concussive wounds can a player withstand over the course of a season or a career until there's some cumulative damage? On average, high school players sustain more than 650 blows to the head every season. That worries Guskiewicz because their brains aren't as developed as adults. The tissue of that brain is still very elastic. In fact, you can think of a brain like an egg yolk, the fluids around it being the whites. It's about that yolk moving within the shell, or the skull, in this case. A helmet is really not designed to help prevent a concussion. It is more dangerous for young people to take big hits than adults, because the brain is still forming and developing at that age. Some studies have found that if you have a lot of these hits as a young person, that can create some changes to the brain that can lead to lifelong problems, whether it be memory problems or emotional problems such as depression or anger. We interviewed teen Becca Anderson, and she said,
I think that this is very important for all teens because we need to be aware of the symptoms and effects of concussions and head injuries because some teams have been killed because of this. I play volleyball, so knowing that if I get a head injury or multiple concussions can be fatal to athletes is helpful for me. This helps me to be more aware of the conditions and what I can do while playing volleyball to prevent head injuries from occurring.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. See you next week on Teen Talk.